Hi, this is Stacia, and I just played a rapid game on leechess.org, and we're going to analyze this game together. It was kind of demolition, um, but I like to learn stuff from these games because even when I get a really nice attack or a really nice position, usually there are defensive resources that my opponent had. So I like to at least learn what could have happened so that if it does happen, I know what mistakes I'm making. So, okay, let's go ahead and begin. My opponent was rated 1800 on Lichess, and I'm rated 1950 currently, roughly. So this is my repertoire, Knight of 6. I've been playing this for 5 years now. C5, D5, and B5. Yeah, so this is the one leg of my repertoire that I've had for a long time, like 5 years. And this is the Benko Gambit. And B3 I don't think is a serious move. And I have a not serious response to this. Queen A5 check. Okay, so all I can tell you is that this is a tricky move. White can probably be just fine if they find the correct plan. Yeah, usually they bring the bishop here. Makes a lot of sense. I play b4. I really like these structures. And now one of the reasons I like this this move is that bishop c1 is probably the best move now, and it's very unnatural. But you're gonna do this, and when I go g6, bishop g7, this takes the potency away from my bishop on g7. But most of my opponents don't find that. Yeah, and a3 is a common move I see. It's not bad. But white is not threatening to take because I would take the rook. So I can play g6 and make the rook feel uncomfortable now. But this did free up a square for the rook. So queen here. And now I played bishop g7. So I do believe I am threatening knight takes d5 here, because if white were to take back, I would win the rook, and it's currently undefended. So he moved the rook. Makes a lot of sense. And at this point of the game, I was feeling a bit uncomfortable. So the reason is my pawn is pinned by the bishop, but also white is threatening a discovery, taking my pawn and attacking my queen. So I have to deal with that. And yeah, I chose queen b6. The other move I considered was queen c7. You can also consider queen d8, I think. Wow. I see the computer has a move I didn't consider here. Queen b6 turns out as best, and the position's equal. Queen c7, not as good, but after this. Yeah, I was planning this move. But probably, yeah, I was thinking this does look unpleasant. So white's got a pretty significant pawn mass in the center. And even if I take this, I think this is going to be uncomfortable soon. Computer wants to slow play it now. F3. Build the F3 E4. Oh yeah, and look, the pawn chain would just be dominating me, and my knight's not stable here. Yeah, I like white there. So I'm glad I didn't play queen c7. The other move the computer gives right now is knight a6, which I find interesting. So, okay, let's say white takes. What's the idea? We're going to take with a knight and give up our queen. Wow. If rook takes queen, we take this queen with check. So that's good for black. So there is no time to take the queen, not yet at least. Wow, so I learned a new idea already. Knight a6, because honestly, I think I like knight a6 because, well, it's more confusing for my opponent which is good. And I want to develop, you know, I want to develop my knight. So after knight a6, if they can't take here and they just go e4, am I uncomfortable or what? Now it wants queen d8 or d6. But on the plus side, my knight is guarding this now. And my knight is guarded by the bishop. Okay, interesting. All right, well, let's continue. After queen b6, my opponent did take here. Makes a lot of sense. And now if I take back, he takes with a bishop or something. And oh, no, he doesn't. Not yet. But, yeah, I've been in positions where I take and then they go rook here and they actually get a big initiative on the queen side. The only downside for white is they're way behind on development. So I really think developing is probably better. So I played d6. Wow. Says white's better now after b takes c5, which he played. And I went pawn takes. But I should play queen takes. Very interesting. Why did I take this way? I mean, I played d6 because I want to play this move. There is no e4. I have it guarded. And I figured my opponent's not developing, so if I get all my pieces out and castle, should be good for me. So what's the problem with this? Takes, and I took with a pawn. Oh, bishop a5. Wow, I missed this. So that is a tempo on the queen. I cannot come here. It's also guarded. So I need to go queen b7. Yuck. And then white can follow up with knight d2. Still not developing the king side, so I'm still like, I still feel like this is a bit suspicious. I mean, what if I just castle? Let's say I'm developed now. e4. Oh, knight d2 to get e4 in. Okay. Felt like white could do that anyway, right? What about e4 here? No, I take it. So how do I get away with that? Because I'm going to take the pawn, I guess. Oh, no, I'm going to play bishop f5, and it's a skewer. How cool is that? Queen e3, we win a free knight. Also on the rook now, it's a skewer. Although I have to admit, this move looks tempting. But no, because, okay, we want to get our pieces out, so this is clearly better. Also, this opens up the bishop. Okay. Wow, I'm learning a lot of ideas already. This is why analyzing games is so good. Okay, but we're continuing with the game. After d6, my opponent did take. I took with a pawn, but he played this move. Yeah, I honestly, I knew this was probably a blunder. Why on earth did he play this move? This breaks so many principles. So I am blocker would say manifestation of lack of foundation. Yeah, white's doing fine here if white just develops their pieces, right? Like e4 doesn't work tactically, but this is a tempo on the queen that could actually work. So I like bishop a5. But even if you don't play that, why not just e3? You know, get your pieces out. I would even consider this move. Is this playable? Just get your pieces out. Maybe the knight will come here. Maybe I'll play e4 now. Yeah, I just think that this move makes no sense to me. Lining up the bishop with the queen, but I think he wants to play here. Yeah, he wants to play there. But now bishop f4, that attacks the queen. There's definitely no e4 now. He blocked it. So, yeah, at this point in the game, I want to exploit the fact that white has a very awkward setup here. They're not developed. They stuck their bishop in front of their e-pawn. So I don't want this bishop to go anywhere. I want him to stay right there. Attacking the queen. And now the queen's in line with the bishop. I could blunder here with something like knight takes pawn, thinking I'm going to win the queen because my bishop's undefended. So I played the most natural move, castles. Now my bishop is defended, and I am threatening knight takes pawn. And maybe knight here, and maybe knight here. I'm not sure what's best, but knight d2 is a blunder. It must be, right? So I think white has to deal with my threat of knight takes pawn. Computer gives queen c1. Yeah, I mean, black's obviously way better now. Way better. Yeah, this check is a mistake, by the way. I think the bishop comes back and unblocks the e-pawn. So I don't want to play that. Yeah, knight d2, and now knight takes d5. Was this the best one? Let's find out. Because I feel like I could go here, I could go here. Computer doesn't give those, it only gives this. Okay, so knight takes d5. Now if he takes, I win the queen, so he's got to move the queen. Queen c1. Computer wanted here, which at least attacks this. So I agree with that, although I'd probably play a knight move to defend it. Let's see. I was thinking maybe knight d7 is not given, so. Oh, I forgot my knight's hanging. Wow, good thing this didn't happen in the game, right? So my knight's hanging. I probably have to go here. Yeah, this makes sense. And now, if the rook goes to a natural place, well, actually, the rook has nowhere to go at all. Wow. White's in serious trouble now because if I go here, I don't even take the rook. I play check and win the queen. And if here I take it with check and win the queen, if here, which is the only real try, I guess. Then I develop. Could take it. But that rook is so awkward and bad. I wouldn't take it. My bishop's amazing. My bishop is better than this rook. I would play knight out. Something like this. So it's g4, yeah. White has to get desperate here. So very interesting. Alright, but queen c1 was played. Now I get to have some fun. Knight here, great square. Do I have something better? I mean, I could consider this. Now the king has no squares. I'm attacking the rook. But maybe rook a3. Yeah, I don't know. I like this move better. This also attacks the rook. Now my knight is on a nice square. He has to move the rook. He came forward. But yeah, it's just too tempting to play this. Nice c2 check. So now white's lack of development is coming to haunt them. The king is now lured to the center. Rook d8, of course. Now that knight is pinned. He defended the pinned knight, but Probably everything wins here. But I wanted to find the best move. Let's see if I did. Yeah, queen takes b3, computer says, is the best. Now I'm threatening a double check. I don't know what white should do. I think it's just over. My opponent went here, so I can't take the rook, but now knight takes e3 check. That's a free bishop. The king has no squares at all. I could even... I have a windmill now, don't I? I think I have a windmill because I can go check here and play more discoveries if I want. Can't take anything though. Computer gives knight a1 check. That's just mean. What's the idea? King e1. Oh, it just comes back? That's white. It's too bad the knight is here. Yeah, I don't know why the computer went there. That was silly. I don't want to draw. Now it's giving bishop e2. Oh, yeah, that's just mean. And if here, well, now we have check and win the queen, but the queen has no squares at all. So yeah, this one's the queen. It says black or white should play e4, but I mean, I could just take it. Don't forget the knight's pinned. Yeah, so I'll just show you how the game ended. After knight b4, check here, rook here, knight here, queen takes rook. And after this check, oh, actually my opponent resigned here. So, all right, let's just review. What's the main thing I learned in this game? Well, it turns out that I actually was in some trouble after pawn takes here, d6 is incorrect. So here I have to play c takes b4, it says. C takes b4 or knight a6, because after my move d6, black or white can get a serious initiative. I mean, how was I going to do this? I was probably going to take this way, but bishop a5. Yeah. I could play this position, but white is objectively better here. And e4 is coming next. And it seems like white will have time to untangle on this line. So, that's the main thing I learned, I think, this game. I've never seen this bishop a5 move, so I'm going to be on the lookout for that in the future. But otherwise, I think the game went well. Bishop b3 is the big mistake. I mean, after this, I think the game was fine. So, lack of foundation. So if my opponent's watching this game, just remember that a move like this isn't justified. You need to get your pieces out. Otherwise, you might get checkmated, which is almost what happened in the game. Alright, well, thank you for watching if you did. This is Stacia, Chess is Best, and I'll see you next video. Bye.